So you're here because you're skinny and you want to build some muscle and want to look actually aesthetic. Then you're at the correct guide at the correct time. Because I will explain to you in this guide with that step by step on how to build aesthetic muscle, gain weight, and how to gain weight in only muscle and not as much fat as most people do. So let's start off with my story. By the way, if you don't want to hear my story, just skip to the next part, next section. I started weightlifting about 2.5 years ago when I was 16. And I was the most skinny guy you would ever see. I was legit 50 kg. You could see all my ribs from the back and from the front. You literally could see my bones in my arms. That's how skinny I actually was. I looked like a skeleton with a little bit of skin on it. And I started weightlifting because one of my best mates actually told me to do it. He told me to do it because otherwise I was just a wuss. So I literally started going to the gym because of that. Then some weird virus that we're not gonna talk about too much came along and actually neglected that weightlifting for half a year until I could actually start weightlifting. So I did some weightlifting at home, did some eating at home, gained about kilos in that half year actually by just eating the correct things and just a little bit of body weight movements, you know. So I wasn't as skinny anymore. And I was 53 kg when I literally started consistently going to the gym. And that was only consistently for 3 times a week. But it was consistent. So I started making a lot of mistakes in the beginning. What I did was I did my sets, but I did the warm-up sets plus the sets that were actually supposed to be my set. So I did the warm-up, 1 set. Then I did one more, 2 set. And then the last one would be the heavy set. And I did the third. That's a mistake I see a lot of beginners make, including myself. And that is what messed up the first year of my weightlifting journey and my bodybuilding journey. Because I legit didn't come on as much muscle as I was supposed to be in the first year. The first year I only gained about 5 kg. And that was not even a lot of muscle. I was still skinny. Then that year I started doing actual weightlifting. So I started doing 3 sets of the heaviest thing I could do for 10 reps. And I started, you know, getting a little bit more muscle. Became 59 kg. And I was actually pretty balanced at that point, you know. I wasn't that skinny guy anymore, but I wasn't that ripped guy yet. I wasn't that athletic guy yet. I wasn't that aesthetic guy yet, but I would be, and I knew I was gonna be. Because, so something actually clicked about half a year ago when my best mate came to the Netherlands. He lives in Norway, by the way. When my best mate came to the Netherlands, and he showed me a lot about eccentric overload, which we're gonna talk about later in this video. For now, you just need to know that by using eccentric overload, I started building way more muscle, way quicker. And I became 63 kg in a span of 4 months. So from 59 to 63, that was the most muscle I ever gained in that short time period. And right now I'm 65 kg and I lost some kgs because I was sick. And right now I'm 65 kg. I'm absolutely aesthetic. I have the summer body. And I'm just growing and growing and growing. I'm eating correctly, I feel better, I feel good. And I will explain in this video how you can do the same to get the aesthetic body and also get the benefits of an aesthetic body. That is not what is talked about enough in this fitness industry. So let's start off with the basics of bodybuilding. And I'm talking about the basics of building an aesthetic body. So for all the bodybuilders out there that want to be huge, this video is not for you. For other bodybuilders out there that actually want an aesthetic body that's useful, keep watching. So first off, let's start off with progressive overload. So what is progressive overload? Progressive overload is something that's used in almost everything. You could use it in business, you could use it in studying, and of course in the gym, what we're talking about right now. Progressive overload is overloading the muscle in a way that you can keep going forward. So keep going up in weight, keep doing more reps in the weights, and just push your muscles further and further. So you will destroy the muscle fibers. So when you're going asleep, you will build them back again and they will build bigger because you destroyed a lot of fibers because of progressive overload. So progressive overload is done in a simple way. Start by using, let's say you're just starting out with the gym. You use the 20 kg barbell to bench. Then the next week you try 22.5 kg to bench. So you put small little plates on it. Then the next week you put 5 kg plates on either side of the bench. And you will keep on progressively overloading and keep on progressing in your weight until you get stuck again so you need to push more reps out so you can do more weight the next time. That's progressive overload in pro science, and that's how easy it is to actually build the muscle. But that's not all, because there are a lot more steps to this. You also have something called eccentric overload. We already talked about this, how it helped me build so much more muscle than I used to in the first year, and with my mistakes. And right now I'm not making as many newbie mistakes. So eccentric overload is the overload you put on your muscle when, let's say, you're doing a push exercise and you're going down. So when you're going down slower, and when you go up, you push it up. So eccentric overload is basically the overload that is when you go down, or when you pull it back. So you're doing a pull exercise, you're pulling it back on a pull exercise. So what this does is destroy a lot more muscle fibers, and it will make your muscle want to grow more, because your muscle will be destroyed more. So the muscle mind will want to grow more because it's getting destroyed more. So it's like, wait, fuck, I need to grow way more. And that's basically eccentric overload. It's the going back and putting the weight in a natural position. So let's say you're on bench, it's getting the weight down slower, and then you push it up. And on a pull exercise, it's you pull it down, then you let it back slower. That's basically eccentric overload. So another part where I didn't participate, but I should have, is cardio. Cardio is super important if you want to use your aesthetic body in, let's say, running, football, soccer, martial arts, which I do. You want to use your body, you need to be able to do cardio. First of all, cardio lets you build a way more aesthetic body, because it will get rid of the excess fat that you have when you're on a good diet, and it will help you burn more calories if needed. But also cardio will be able to make you breathe better, which is really important in weightlifting as well. It will make your veins clear up, so they're clean, and your blood will flow with all the oxygen in the correct places way quicker and better. And that means you can put more on the weightlifting journey, so you will grow more muscle faster, so you get more progressive overload and eccentric overload, and basically get aesthetic way faster than you would without cardio. This is what I noticed with my body, and this is what probably will happen with your body. Because a lot of bodybuilders will say, well, you're skinny, you shouldn't do cardio. You definitely should. Because it also increases your appetite, which means you can eat more, which means that you will grow faster. That is why cardio is important, and that's a lie of the fitness scam that they say it's not important, because it definitely is. So let's talk about form, because form is very important in muscle building, because otherwise you get injuries and you won't grow. The form in most exercises is actually pretty straightforward. Keep your back straight, shoulders down and back. You put your chest in front, straight back, and you will be able to do the exercise. Also, what's really important is to look up form videos. So I'm not gonna put the form in this video. You can just look up a video on YouTube, look up the form for specific exercises you wanna do, and then try to perfect that form as much as you possibly can. Because that's a way you'll be able to progressive overload way more, and in terms grow more muscle and grow safer. Because safety is of most important in the gym. So aesthetic way. There's an aesthetic way in the basics of bodybuilding. That way is to do a push-pull leg split, but different than most people. So what I do on my push day, most people on push day will focus on the chest. So what I would recommend you do is start off with the delts, do one exercise. Then you do an incline bench variation, dumbbell press or bench. Then you do a delt exercise, and then you do the rest of the chest. And then you do some triceps. This is a really important thing for the aesthetic body, because a lot of people forget their delts. The delts only get used once a week, which means your delts will not grow as much, and you have a way too big chest for a way too small delts, and you will not look aesthetic. Also, what's really important is you use standing exercises when you want to build an aesthetic useful body. Because when you want an aesthetic useful body, so you want to use it as well, you need to be able to have good stability, good core stability. That means you have to do a male press, you have to do deadlifts, you have to do squats with a barbell, no pussy hack squat or a leg press. You need to do actual squats, which are really important for the balance and for overall body use. And you'll be able to use your aesthetic muscle. Your aesthetic muscle will look more aesthetic because of these exercises, which means you have more to do. So the last thing that's really important on this aesthetic bodybuilding is start doing some type of HIIT training. So that's excessive cardio training once a week. So why I'd reckon you do this is because it will make your muscle way more beautiful and way more aesthetic this way, because you're losing excess fat, you're using your muscle in a different way. You'll be able to lift more weights in more rep range, which means your rep range will definitely improve, your sets will improve, and your weights on the bars will be improved. So here is the workout split I'm working with right now. It will change up every 6 weeks for me, so I will keep things fresh. I will keep the most important exercises in there, and the rest I will just swivel around, so I keep growing in this rapid phase. So we start off with the push day. We have a military press, we have a bench press, an incline dumbbell press, Arnold press, tricep push down, single arm tricep push down. So as you can see, the bench press and the incline dumbbell bench press are right now turned around than what I said in the video. That is because I'm switching things around, so that's why. This workout regimen will be linked in bio, you can download it. This is my workout regimen, it's completely free, and this is what works for me. It has all the notes on it, what is handy when you're doing the correct things. So I would definitely recommend you use it if you're new to working out. And even if you are intermediate, it probably will work very good for you. So the second one is pull. So I do pull-ups for warm-ups. I add weight if I need to, so a chain or actual weight. Then I do a true lat pull down. As you can see on screen, this is a true lat pull down. You go, take a mat or something, go on your knees and do the pull down. What this does is make your back straight and you're not cheating the lat pull down, which means you're actually focusing way more on your lat than you would normally do with a normal lateral pull down. If you do not have this option available in your gym, then just use a normal lat pull down machine. So then I do close grip lat pull downs. That's with a close grip handle. Then I do easy bar curls, pretty straightforward, single arm cable delt fly. So I do a delt fly in the way that my front, middle and back delt will get hit on the pull day. Then a single arm bicep curl, T-bar rows and deadlifts once every 2 weeks. So why once every 2 weeks? That is because of the fact that deadlift is a very heavy exercise. I don't recommend it doing it every week or even twice a week. That's too much. So the pull day is a pretty big day, but it's a doable day and definitely a good day. Then I have legs. Bulgarian split squat, squat, hamstring curls. Those are the most important 3. You have to at least hit those. Then what I add myself, because I put in a little bit more time for it because I really enjoy doing legs, is leg extensions. Then I do some shoulder exercises. So why do I do this? Because of the fact that I can't really hit shoulders enough on the push day or pull day. Because sometimes I don't have enough time for shoulders, or what happens most of the time is push pull, then one day rest, and then legs, which means the shoulders don't get hit as much on the week. And I really want to grow my shoulders right now. So if you're struggling with growing your shoulders, I would definitely recommend doing this. Otherwise, you can leave the shoulder exercises out of this, which is a shoulder press, single dumbbell, flies dumbbell, and a low to high cable fly. So it's in Dutch. I have to change it up because I did this program for someone else, so I have to change that. So I have to change it up real quick. But that's why it's. Fuck. Ik hoef het helemaal niet te zeggen, want ik kan dit gewoon opnieuw screenshotten. So that's basically for legs. So now let's start off with the basic of dieting. First of all, let me start off with most fitness YouTubers don't. Not all macros are the same. I don't know if you have heard this before, because most of the fitness industry just say macros are macros, proteins are proteins. They're not. Listen, getting proteins, yeah, from chicken nuggets from the McDonald's, instead of getting proteins from a fresh piece of chicken breast, those are completely different proteins, calories and fats. The chicken breast will make you powerful, it will build your muscle way better, it will make you feel healthier, it will fix your gut microbiome, which means that you are able to think more, have less brain fog, and which means you can lift way more weights than you would be able to when you eat the chicken nuggets from McDonald's. So why is this different? Because a lot of people don't even know. The chicken breast is not processed. There's nothing injected into it, nothing extra, no ingredients. It's just chicken. You want to know what's in the chicken nugget? A lot of products, a lot of processed things, literally things that I don't even know what to call them because it literally has this long of a name. So those are really bad for your gut microbiome, as you probably already knew from the inside, which means you get less power out of them. You can build less muscle. You will look less lean because you're getting a lot of processed fats in, a lot of sugars, and you're basically just ruining your whole physique that way. I know a lot of people can eat junk food and look good, but they don't feel good. I definitely know that. And they're not as strong as they're supposed to be with that much muscle. So let's talk about calorie surplus. This is one of the most important parts from going to skinny to aesthetic, because the calorie surplus needs to be at least a 300 to 400 surplus for me. And that's for a lot of skinny guys these days. I know a lot of skinny guys that the 200 surplus is not enough. But then you would ask me, how do I get on it? Let's say a 400 surplus. You eat the correct healthy foods with a good non-processed fat, and you eat a lot of proteins. So what I would recommend, let's say you're 60 kg or 50 kg, I would recommend you eat about 110 grams to 120 grams protein. Why do I say about? Because when you are artistically tracking your proteins, then it's gonna go wrong for you in the mindset, which we're gonna talk about later. So about 110 and 120 grams of protein, what I would recommend you. What I would also recommend is about 3,500 calories to 3,900 calories. This differs per person, but let's say you have my build, the same genetics as me, in terms of building muscle, I would recommend that amount of calories. And what I would also recommend is a lot of good healthy fats. So healthy fats can differ from time to time. Some good healthy fats are from nuts, peanuts, walnuts, olive oil, real butter, that's literally 100% butter, good real milk, that's grass fat. Those are really good fats as well, if you're of course not lactose intolerant. And just non-processed fats overall are basically really good in your diet, and you definitely need them. Because there's been a lie in the fitness industry where people say, yeah, you don't need fat, you just need to buy fatless things. When you have the minus 10% fat, yeah, you have 0% fat yogurt, then you're basically injecting a lot of other stuff. Then you're basically ingesting a lot of other stuff in your body, which literally ruins your physique anyway, ruins your mindset, ruins your gut microbiome, and you can't even build as much muscle anymore because of that. So look out with that. Just take whole fats. Don't listen to the lies of the fitness industry, please. Also, there are things to look out for when eating. When you're on your bulk, look out for products that have ingredients in them, that are in saran wrap or just a very low tier plastic. I would definitely recommend trying to avoid plastic as much as possible, and try to avoid sugars, because those are all things that can have an estrogenic effect on you, which means you have estrogens in your body and testosterone will go down, so you will be able to build less muscle because you're not able to build as much as you would without those estrogenic things. And sugars are, on the other hand, they give you a lot of brain fog, which means you have less discipline, less motivation to go to the gym. They will ruin your dopamine levels, which dopamine is very important to get as high as possible to get more muscle building potential. I will go on this as well later in the video. And your sugars will ruin a lot of the power that you have, because you get a sugar crash a lot of the time. When you keep consuming sugars, you won't be able to build as much muscle because you can't really get the progressive overload in. So one thing that's really important, start doing some type of martial arts to get the real benefits of your aesthetic body. I've noticed since I've been doing martial arts for about 4 months now, I'm growing way more aesthetically. So what do I mean with this? My V taper is getting more, I'm getting more shredded, so more abs. My veins are popping way more, which means I will look better on photos. And overall, it will boost your endurance. And I've been able to hit way more PRs since I've been doing martial arts than without the martial arts. So I won't go into the topic what martial arts you should go on. I'm on kickbox myself, and I've noticed that's one of the best martial arts out there because you're using your whole body. I've heard Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has kind of the same effects, but I can't speak out of myself, so you would have to look up a video about that. So now let's get to the part which is hardest for most people, and that's the mindset. What mindset should you have when going to the gym? The mindset that you should have is a disciplined mindset. A mindset that doesn't need a lot of motivation. Because motivation is actually a lie to yourself. Because you only go when you're motivated, and when you're not motivated, you won't go. When you said you would go, which means your self-esteem will go lower, and that means that you won't be able to effectively go to the gym in a consistent manner, which means you won't be able to build your body. So what is important? I'd rather have you go once a week, but actually go on the day that you say, and then build up. Then you say to yourself, I go 5 times a week. The first week you do it, the second week it's less, and the third week you don't go because you're feeling sick or something, when you're actually not motivated anymore. So that's a mindset trick. Try to first push yourself a little. So start with steps. Don't fully go into it. Start with steps. Once a week, then twice a week, then 3 times a week. Stay on the 3 times a week for a while and really do that consistently. It will boost your self-esteem. And then you will be able to go 5 times a week and then 6 times, which is optimal for the push-pull leg split. Also with martial arts, which I already talked about, the mindset on that. Go to a gym, martial arts gym. Go to the first free lesson. Almost every martial arts gym has a free lesson. And just join it. Look what you think of the group. Look what you think of the people. If you don't like it, go to the next one. If you're interested in doing martial arts, which I would definitely recommend for the aesthetics. So mindset basically is start small, keep going up, keep going. And the mindset for the diet is a little bit different. The mindset for the diet is you need to be able to hit about the calorie surplus, the proteins and the fats that you want. About. So what I'm saying is, if you don't hit it with like 130 calories, it's okay. You say it's okay, next day you get it. You win from yourself. So this mindset is basically competing with yourself and comparing yourself today to the guy that you were yesterday. Because you need to win from the guy that you were yesterday. And that's the only way you'll be able to hit your caloric goal, hit your PRs, and actually hit the gym the amount of times that you want to go to the gym. So that's a really cool mindset trick. And also one mindset trick, which a lot of people will say is wrong, start competing with people that are just a little bit better than you. So I am competing right now with some guys that I know that are just a tad bit better than me in the gym or in martial arts. I'm gonna win from them. That's my mindset. Just say to yourself, it's your belief. It sounds a bit wishy-washy, but you have to believe that you can do it. Believe that you will win from the guy that you want to win from. You have to believe you will beat yesterday's self. That's a strong mindset. And that will be able to boost your discipline, boost your motivation, and it will be able to boost your dopamine, which we're gonna talk about now actually. Dopamine. You've probably heard of it. The guys that do dopamine detox, and the guys like Andrew Huberman. You probably heard from dopamine. If you have already heard from Andrew Huberman, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. You need to fix your dopamine levels. You need to stop indulging in as much pleasures that you're used to. Because you're used to having so much pleasure from the TikTok, from the pornography, from being on your computer the whole day. That your dopamine, you have to like think of dopamine is like a drive. It's a motivation and it's a willpower. It's not as much about the pleasure, it's more about the drive and the willpower towards it. So let's say, you have a pool of dopamine in your brain. The dopamine receptors. And your dopamine will be pushed out once you're having a peak. So you have a baseline and you have a peak. The peak of dopamine will happen once you go drive towards that thing. And then you get the pleasure, and when the pleasure happens, it will drop down below baseline. So, why is it important to fix your dopamine to go to the gym? Because when you fix your dopamine levels and actually get more dopamine in the pool, because every time you peak and you go down below baseline, your pool will be less filled with dopamine receptors, which means you will be able to move less. Because you basically have 2 streams of dopamine, one stream for the movement, one stream for the drive and motivation. And when you have less dopamine, you will be able to move less, you will feel lethargic, you will feel more tired and more lazy, which means you will go to the gym less, you won't be able to keep up your promises to yourself, and you will just go down and down and down as long as you're indulging in all those pleasures. Same with when you already go to the gym, don't listen to music all the time. Don't take your phone with you all the time, because that also will create those peaks in dopamine and go down, which means the gym will be less fun for you. That's this basic bioscience of dopamine. If you want the full scientific research of dopamine, then watch Andrew Huberman's podcast, because he has a scientific explanation on it and actually has probably the correct pronunciations of the things. So that's a way to build an aesthetic and useful body as a skinny guy. Because when you're starting off as a skinny guy, it's hard. It's hard to build the body that you want. It's hard to get to where you want. The most hardest thing is the motivation, because you look skinny. So here are some extra tips for when you're the skinny guy and you're going to the gym. First of all, try to clothe the best you can. Oversized doesn't matter, because when you're oversized clothing, then people can see you as much and you will look really good. What I would recommend is getting some, when you've been going to the gym consistently for about 3 months, get a muscle fit shirt and a muscle fit pants. I would definitely recommend getting it from cotton, because polyester has plastics in it which seep in your body and have an estrogenic effect. But I would definitely recommend something muscle fit and actually looking fit. Fix up your hair, fix up your acne, fix up basically everything that you can do in terms of hygiene and without the gym. Because when you look the best in the gym, you will be able to lift more weights because you have a way higher self-esteem. That's what really worked for me to keep on the drive and keep on going to the gym and keep staying consistent. Also, a tip on diet: to boost your testosterone, eat at least 3 eggs in the evening time, about 3 hours before you go to bed, because that have a high testosterone effect, because you build testosterone when you're asleep, and eggs have high proteins and a lot of testosterone building effects. So definitely try to consume eggs in the evening time, 3 hours before bed. So this guide is perfect for the skinny guy to go to an aesthetic build. This program that I followed helped me go from 50 kg to 65 kg in about 2.5 years. So I would definitely follow along if I were you. So if this guide was helpful, could you click a like and subscribe to this channel? It will be a win-win for both of us, because I will be putting more content about this. So now you know how to build an aesthetic body. I wish you best of luck on your journey. If you need any help or tips, then click on the link in bio. One-on-one coaching call for 1 hour with me, where I will help you stay accountable with the discipline and with tips about the gym. Also, if you're a gamer, I will help you quit video games for good and will help you become a better person. So click the link in bio for that. So work hard every day, be proud of yourself every day, and I will see you later.